2.5 is just insanity. But the good thing of it is I do got a fellow San Francisco 49er content creator out there. We go a long way back from where we were in our previous place, and now seeing him on the come up and shouting it out for the Bay Area. My good friend, Justin Hardin, as they always call him by Jay in the Bay. He is joining us. Everything's got to feel good in the Bay, my friend. And of course, as usual, your signature mask with everything San Francisco 49ers. Tell the whole audience what's up there in the Bay.
What's good? Oh, it's a pleasure to be on with you tonight, Jake. Hope all is well, but what a time to be alive and what a time to be a 49er fan as the Niners are in the Super Bowl again, the second time in the Shanahan Lynch era. Hey, it's a great time to be a Niner fan, man. Thanks for having me tonight.
You bet, man. So it's funny. I myself got a little bit educated with what the sports bet lines basically have looked at. So now it's at 2.5. That's insanity for me because it feels a lot like you got to lean on San Francisco's run game. Now, to basically ask you upon this, because Christian McCaffrey, I felt like has been an absolute game changer in this Niners offense. To recapping the regular season and going all the way into the playoffs and now being in the Super Bowl again, how important has Christian McCaffrey's presence been with this Niners offense and especially, too, with the building and development of Brock Purdy?
Man, CMC, I've said it before on previous live streams. I feel like that was the best trade in 49ers history. I would say since I've been watching the team for about 20 plus years, definitely the best trade in the 2000 era, I would say. CMC does it all, not only on the ground. He also catches the ball well out the backfield. He had over 2,000 yards from scrimmage. I believe he in some notifications or publications, I should say, he won Offensive Player of the Year. He's also up for MVP. So he's just been incredible. He makes everything go. Obviously, Brock is having a hell of a year as well, but I don't think any of this would be possible without CMC. I think he's the best running back in the NFL based on his production. And, he's played every game this year except the last one. He didn't need to play. But I know he had some injury concerns his last 2 years with the Panthers, but, that was shored up. I don't believe he's missed a game due to injury. I don't believe that we didn't need him actually to play. So he's been incredible. He's been incredible for us.
It's kind of funny because, the whole entire narrative going into the Super Bowl and even for, into the playoffs, the whole thing is all wrapped around Kyle Shanahan. Now, we know Shanahan has been in this position several times. We remember basically as him as an offensive coordinator in Atlanta, where they had the 28-3 lead and the rest is history.
Don't remind me.
we were at this position again with the Chiefs in 2019 where there was the lead and then in came Mahomes. This has to be a win it or nothing type of feel if you're Kyle Shanahan in this building. And how else would you think Kyle Shanahan in the last 2 times being in the Super Bowl and experience this? Could we potentially see a different narrative out of the head coach?
I think so. Obviously, everyone's looking back to when the 2 teams last played in the Super Bowl. And I think the biggest difference is who's playing at quarterback. I think Jimmy G was solid for us, but he didn't make the same plays that Brock Purdy is making. And if you watch every snap, you see it, the off the script plays. He scrambles for first downs if he needs to. He throws balls in tight windows. So I think the biggest difference is Brock Purdy. Obviously, CMC. We have Trent Williams now, the best left tackle in the NFL. I think Ayuk and Debo are better. Kittle is better as well. I think Kittle has been better since the emergence of Brock Purdy statistically. So I think that's the major difference. I think our defense is I don't know if it's better, at least not against the run. I can't lie. Like our run defense is concerning. Green Bay gashed us up. Aaron Jones last week. We were gashed up. Both running backs were gashing up. Gibbs and what was his name? Montgomery. They were gashing us up. Detroit. So that's a concern. But I think defensively, we just have to make adjustments, whether that's adding another defensive lineman on the line of scrimmage, bringing that safety into the box. So that way you got 9 defenders in the box. We have to slow down the Chiefs run. There's make no mistake about it. And if we have a lead, hey, lean on the best running back in the NFL. Just run the ball.
Boy, it's funny because I was about to ask that, but you gave me exactly the perfect game plan to basically slowing down now Isaiah Pacheco that they're going in, because I've watched Pacheco, since last season. He is the kind that is a very fast runner, but he's the kind that is not afraid when defenses basically come in to tackle him. I think he kind of expects it. He's like, look, just give me your best hits. If you can knock me down, great. If you can't, well, then you got a serious problem. So that is definitely the best game plan, I would say, to help to slowing down Isaiah Pacheco. Yeah. So then, all right, I want to go to Brock Purdy on this one, because I know people have questioned so much about basically, is he MVP caliber? Is he not MVP caliber? Is he set? And then you heard about, the whole Cam Newton thing, which I was just like, look, a game manager is not that bad, because at the same time, if you we manage everything in our lives. We basically manage our marriages, our relationships, we manage our work lifestyles, and so much. When I look at Brock Purdy, I think it's a perfect example of being the game manager. But there has been some question marks. It felt like Jordan Love played better than Brock Purdy. It felt like Jared Goff played better than Brock Purdy. There were some of those things, and I'd say there's a lot of adversity on Brock Purdy's way. But I think what is special to kind of cap this is that he just sees the adversity, but yet knows how to overcome it. Is there some type of secret sauce you've seen with Purdy following this team and following them in the playoffs that really can help to edge for San Francisco to win the Super Bowl?
The biggest thing with Brock Purdy for me is when he started unexpectedly, because Jimmy Garoppolo got hurt. He came in the Miami game and led us to victory in that game. The moment is never too big for Purdy. That's what I've noticed. Has he struggled at times? Yeah, he struggled against Baltimore. Hell of a team. I actually thought we would be playing Baltimore in the Super Bowl. There are other teams where he struggled against when we had our 2 or 3 losing streak, 2 to 3 game losing streak at the beginning of the season, or I should say, right before the midpoint. We had lost a few games in a row. He struggled a little bit there, but when we've needed him in big games and big moments, he's definitely thrived in that situation. We were down 27 we outscored Detroit 27-7 in the second half, partly due to Detroit's misfortunes, but you have to capitalize on that. But Brock is making everyone around him better. I don't remember the last time a team had 1,000-yard receiver in Ayuk, 1,000-yard receiver in Debo, in Kittle, and also CMC having over 2,000 yards from scrimmage. So I think that's more than a game manager. Now, if you're asking me, is he your prototypical quarterback? Hell no. I mean, you want someone that's like 6'4", like who you guys got in LA. That's who you want. Mm-hmm. And let's be real. Everyone was wrong about Purdy. He's Mr. Irrelevant. If you look at the history of Mr. Irrelevant players, most guys don't even make the squad. You'll see a few kickers that succeeded, but any other position players, they don't have long careers in the NFL. And Brock Purdy has shocked the world. And it's a beautiful thing to see. It's a great story. And to cap it all off with a Super Bowl victory, I mean, you can't write a better script than that.
It's kind of interesting, and especially, and to your opinion, because being a part of, the NFC, I could make the argument that the NFC is more of a conference that loves to find their hidden gems. Whereas for the AFC, you got the star quarterback, you got a chance. And there's high expectations from that. I kind of look into this. And let's say, hypothetically speak, if somehow, some way, that if the Chiefs' defense is too much for Brock Purdy, do you kind of feel like that at some point John Lynch will probably have to sit down with everybody, because this is just too much talent for them to not be able to, at the very least, win a championship? But is this kind of something that if you're John Lynch on the back of your head, that if, let's say, the worst happens, is this something that they're really going to have to discuss in the war room?
I don't think so. I think it would be wise to always draft a quarterback on day 3. I think that makes sense from a financial standpoint, and because, hey, guys get hurt in the NFL. But I think Brock Purdy has earned the trust of not only his teammates in the locker room, but also the coaching staff and the front office. I mean, hell, we traded away Trey Lance. I mean, after trading away all that draft capital to get Trey Lance, and to see that not come to fruition, we traded him to basically say, hey, Brock, this is your job. Hey, there's no more Jimmy Garoppolo. This is your job, Brock. So I think it doesn't matter what happens. I don't think in the Super Bowl, I think Brock Purdy has proved that he belongs. He can succeed at the NFL. And I think he's a 49ers quarterback for years to come. Now, obviously, I don't want to see the worst, obviously. There's a stat. I think it's Brock Purdy, when he doesn't throw an interception, the Niners are undefeated. And when he does throw an interception, I think the Niners are like 2-6. So, he's going to have to protect the football, take what the defense gives him. And also Shanahan's got to call some great plays that'll ease him into the game. But one thing about Brock, there's a saying, if you pray for rain, you can't complain about the mud. And Brock loves to throw the ball deep. He loves to throw the ball in tight windows. It's all good when our guy catches the ball, but when the other team catches it, you just have to kind of live with the good and bad. He's not. I think a game manager plays to not lose the game. Right. If you watch Brock play, he's the total opposite of Jimmy G. In my opinion, based on what I've seen, Brock Purdy makes plays whether he's running the ball off script, or if he's throwing in tight windows, or if he's escaping the rush and he rolls out and then he delivers a pass. So, I think he's much more than a game manager. But all that won't even matter if we don't win on Sunday. All that talk won't matter. It's all about getting that W on Sunday.
Well, hopefully Cam Newton's watching this, because there you go. Take notes. It's exactly what the difference is between that. Because you know what? I'd rather would have that than to basically be a game changer, but yet can't really manage under pressure. And I think that's one of the things Purdy is so good for. So I know we talked about, the game plan against the run, but what do you think may be the game plan as to basically the X factor that the Chiefs may have in Travis Kelce? We know that the narrative's been all on him, him and the Taylor Swift thing. But the other thing is, he looks like he's just kind of rejuvenated for as old as he's getting right now. There's not much left in the tank. But how do you think that this game plan should set for San Francisco if, in fact, Patrick Mahomes does his thing and he finds his X factor in Travis Kelce? What is the plan to eliminate that?
Yeah, that's the $1 million question. How do you stop Pat Mahomes, a future Hall of Fame quarterback? I mean, we had a lead on this guy a few years back, 10-point lead in the fourth quarter. You just can't allow him to scramble and make plays. I think if we slow down Pacheco, and I didn't mention it, but Pacheco's a hell of a running back. You mentioned it earlier. He's a hell of a running back. He runs for contact. He is not afraid. So I'm looking forward to those collisions that are going to happen on Super Bowl Sunday. But Kelce, he's another Hall of Fame talent. He's got the most catches in postseason history. He passed the GOAT, Jerry Rice. Come on, man. I don't see how Kelce gets so open. But I think it seems like he knows when the defense is playing zone, and he runs his route, and he sets right in between a few defenders, makes himself open, and catches a pass, and Pat Mahomes can find him. But I think we have to put Fred Warner on him. I think he's one of the better cover corners in the NFL. If you need to bracket the coverage, double Kelce, because I don't think now they don't have a Tyreek Hill on this team. They don't have him, so we don't have to worry about that type of player who can really stretch the field deep. I mean, they've got MVS, but he doesn't strike fear in the defense like Tyreek Hill would. So they've got Rice, they've got Pacheco, they've got Kelsey. If we can limit the Chiefs to maybe 17 points or less, I think we'll be fine. But also on third downs, where if it's a third and long, you got to have a spy in there. I don't know if people out there, you play Madden. I know for me, if it's 3rd and 8 and I'm playing against a mobile quarterback, you got to have a spy. They love to scramble out the pocket and, scamper for that first down. So you have to eliminate that as a possibility. And also don't penalize yourself. That's one thing. We can't give the Chiefs extra chances to get first downs and give them free plays. And I know the Chiefs, their offensive line, man, they've got a lot of penalties that have been committed by that Chiefs O-line. That's what I've seen in the playoffs. So that's something else to look forward to.
So I got to ask this because, I mean, this whole Super Bowl is nothing but a sea of red. And unfortunately, you're going to be in a place that just can't stand both sides.
Yeah.
But they can't stand the team that's in the same division as they are. And you kind of already see how pissed that they are. And then going back from the roots from Oakland and San Francisco, there's a lot of that Bay Area rivalry. Yeah. How would you kind of see this play out from just being at Allegiant Stadium? I've been there once, and I think it's a great place. It's indoor. I also do think that, I've said this before with previous people. I don't think a lot of people are prepared for what a Super Bowl is going to look like in Las Vegas. Not even the Vegas residents. And, I mean, look, there are Niners fans left and right. Either they're coming from Santa Clara County or they're literally flooding the streets of Las Vegas. But how would you kind of see this play out from the fans' experience being out there in Las Vegas? Is this kind of something that you kind of feel like this is going to help hype us up even more? How do you see this?
Yeah, it's the first of its kind. There's never been a Super Bowl in Vegas. And it's funny you mentioned, the Chiefs are in the same division as the Raiders, so they're going to be in their stadium, and the Niners and Raiders don't like each other. So it's going to be funny how that plays out. But yeah, it's going to be an incredible time to be in Vegas. A lot going on, obviously. Wish I could be there, but I was just looking at hotels. You can't even get a hotel in Vegas right now. Like, everything is sold out. But yeah, it's going to be a fun time. And I'd imagine the Super Bowl will be held in Vegas, every 7 years or less. I would imagine it's going to be a go-to spot. But as far as the game itself, I think it's going to be a back and forth game. I think the Chiefs will be able to run the ball against us early. And I think our defensive coordinator, Steve Wilks, we call him Sideline Wilks because he started off calling defensive plays up at the booth. We struggled a little bit on defense, and the head coach Kyle Shanahan said, "Hey, you need to come down to the sideline." So we call Steve Sideline Steve. But I think it's going to be up to him to make adjustments. I think you should start off with a 5-man defensive front, bring that safety down in the box, basically dare KC to run the ball because Pat Mahomes still has the arm, right? He still got a rocket for an arm, but who can really beat you over the top on KC? There's no Tyreek Hill. Rice is a very good rookie receiver, but wouldn't classify him as a 4.2, 4.3 speedster type of guy. So I think the Niners defense should be able to corral that running game. You just got to not allow Mahomes to do what he's done before, and that's make great plays. I think we'll be just fine. I think we should, if it were up to me, run the ball at least 25 to 35 times with a mix of CMC and Elijah Mitchell. I would love to see that. Basically limit the Chiefs' possessions on offense by, winning that time of possession. I think that would be key for the Niners. But I don't know, man. Shanahan, he believes in Purdy, but sometimes that could be a detriment. Sometimes he just wants to throw the ball with Purdy and not run the ball as much with CMC. We've seen that before in the regular season and in the game against Green Bay. Like, we didn't, really run the ball that much. But hey, of course, I'm taking my Niners to win. I'm not sure if you want me to give a score prediction now, but You know,
Sure,
I see.
absolutely.
Okay.
I mean,
All right.
we've heard it from our bet expert because now
Okay.
it's a 2.5. I'm surprised it even got there. I could have seen it as just, a 1.5 because
Yeah.
this is going to look like a field goal game in my opinion. So
I
yeah,
mean, if you look at both teams' playoff journey so far this year, the Chiefs have had a more impressive journey. They were on the road in every game, right, except for the Dolphins game. But every game after that, they blew out the Dolphins. They beat the Ravens, and then the team they beat before that was the Bills. So 2 out of 3 games they were on the road. They went through those 3 tougher teams. I think that's a tougher game of games to go through than playing Detroit, playing Green Bay. And of course, we've only played 2 games, but then we were at home. So I was kind of surprised that the Niners were favored, but Vegas, they don't have all those buildings out there in the middle of nowhere because they've lost money, right? They know what they're doing out there. They want people to bet. They're going to get a lot of money from California for the Niners betting. So I think it makes sense from a betting standpoint. You want to get the most money riding on the Niners, but I think it's going to be a close game. That's what I'm hoping for. I can see the Niners winning 27-23. That's what I think will happen. Real close, back and forth. Yeah, I can see that happening.
Yeah, that's a pretty damn good score prediction. I almost kind of lean into the point of a 30-28 because of the fact of one special teams is going to basically get involved. They're going to get more repetitions, but at the same time too, there's going to be scoring back and forth. You're ready to play basically a potential shootout if that's the case, but still playing gridiron football in the defense. Sure. It's kind of funny, and just to kind of give you a note, but I came across a post where apparently, according to CMC's mom, that apparently they tried to get a suite, but apparently it's $2.5 million to get a suite, and they can't afford it. That's insane.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and I'm not surprised by my hometown. I mean, everyone wants the best out of everything, but it's just like, good God, can we eat?
Everything's more expensive in Vegas. It's the place to be.
It's so funny because, years ago, we used to be so used to, New York's and the Bostons and the Dallases and Chicago's of the world. Now, Los Angeles, the whole West Coast is starting to, kind of make its come up. But it's.
I mean, when the F1 racing comes to your town and shuts everything down, I mean, hey, that says it all. And you guys got hockey. You got women's basketball. You got the Raiders. You're going to get the A's. So it's like, I mean, Vegas is happening, man. That's the place to be.
Oh, yeah. That's why I'm just like, I'm really hoping for a really good Super Bowl because I don't know if fans are truthfully prepared for it. Now, we did have the Pro Bowl, but this is an even higher ceiling than any of us would expect. But this will be really fun. Justin, appreciate the time, man. Where can people find you for all diehard Niners fans that love to find your content?
Hey, appreciate you having me on, Jake. It's been a blast. We got to do this again, man. It's good to reminisce and kick back with you, man. Because like you said in the preview, we go way back. So it's good to chop it up with you, man. And people can find me on Jay in the Bay on YouTube, IG, Twitter, TikTok. Also, I'm part of a 4-man team that's called Straight Out of the Bay. That's also another YouTube channel, IG, Twitter as well. So in that group, there's Celts, there's Bay Area Baller, Amin the Dream. So we talk about 49ers football, and we will be talking about them every Monday night. And of course, the post game with the Super Bowl. So that's what I'm doing. Love it. And hey, thanks again for having me on, man. Appreciate it.
Absolutely. Justin Hardin, Jay in the Bay. That's all good in the Bay. Appreciate the time, man. Enjoy it. We will see you next weekend for Super Bowl 58. Enjoy it. Take care, man. And we will see you soon.
Take it easy. All right.
You bet. Yeah, I do think that it's crazy.